Now let's do question number 5. Question number 5 says, please name the following compounds HBr and FCl3. So let's start out with the HBr first. Now HBr is an acid, and it is an acid that is binary, which means it is hydrogen with a nonmetal. So that means we just take the name and we just make it hydro-blank-ic acid. And in this case, it's going to be bromic because the nonmetal here is bromide. So we know that's hydrobromic acid. But what about FeCl3? Well, FeCl3 is a transition metal compound, which means that it has a transition metal in it. And that transition metal is iron.
US Learning Resource
So,
Center.
what we're going to do here is we're going to look at the charges of both iron and Cl3. Now, in order for a compound to exist, guys, the overall charge of a compound must be 0. So what that means is that we need to find a way where 3 chlorides and 1 iron equals 0. So we know that 1 chloride equals a -1 charge. But we have 3 chlorides. So that means that we have a -3 charge. And finally, guys, we know that x plus a -3 must equal 0. So x, which equals the charge of iron, equals +3. So with this information in mind, guys, we now can say that FeCl3 equals iron 3 chloride. Now, a lot of people get mistaken by what the Roman numeral represents. The Roman numeral represents the charge of the transition metal. So a good way to remember this, guys, is to remember this saying. When in battle, Romans charged with iron swords. So the Romans, the Roman numeral, represents the charge, they charge, of the transition metals like iron. And you have iron 3 chloride, hydrobromic acid, and you have your answer.